Hi everyone, I am on my way. I am here. Before I start, I would like to give my sympathies to those poor innocent people who were murdered by that terrorist in New Zealand. So please, everyone, when you sing a little prayer, keep them in your prayers, and also those who perish on that airplane. That was. Oh, I thought someone was. If I don't reply to some of the chat, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to concentrate a little more. After each topic, I will take a look at the screen. I'll try to read until I stop. In any event, those poor people who perish on that plane as well. So it's been a tough week. In any event, the first I don't want to dwell on these. I don't want to play on anybody's mood, but that gentleman who committed that terrorist act in New Zealand, I'm sure some people are going to ask me about him. I feel that gentleman has mental issues. Of course, one has to be sick to do something like that. And given the way Trump and the guy who used to work for him was running all over Europe and Australia and those areas, promoting white supremacy. I'm sure that if I describe him, you will remember. He always looked like he had too much to drink the night before and wore 10 shirts at once. I don't recall his name because I try not to think about these people. I wonder how he feels today. And when I thought with Trump, he's trying to make himself believe he had nothing to do with this. And he's trying to convince his followers that white supremacy, it's a small group of people, well, in America anyway. I believe that's what he was implying, that it's a small group of sick puppies. I don't feel that's true. I feel it's worse than that, although I can only speak intuitively what I get. But the reason why Trump never always deny that these people don't exist, or like he never knew that. Again, I forget his name. He's with the KKK. He is from Louisiana. He ran for senator a number of years ago. Trump claimed that he didn't know the guy, which wasn't true. In any event, he's trying to wash his hands and do certain things underhanded, it feels like to me. That's why he went to Breitbart and threatened and made the threat that the police is with him, the military is with him, and the bikers for Trump are with him. I feel Trump has issues. Well, the reason why I'm saying all these things is because this afternoon I was intuitively looking at him, see what I could pick up. It feels like to me he is worried something is about to come down. And he started again blaming Obama for wiretapping him. From what he sent out a tweet. I don't subscribe to his Twitter feed, and also claiming that Mueller should not put out a report. And when I looked at him earlier today, there is an intensity about how afraid he is, as if the other shoe is going to drop or something is going to happen soon. And believe it or not, Trump has very good ideas when things are going to happen. He has people. They may not be able to tell him with clarity what Mueller is working on, but they can give him an idea of what Mueller is thinking and when Mueller may deliver his report. It feels like to me Trump is freaking out now that this report is going to come out, and it's not going to be good for him. I don't blame him, because I have been saying since last summer that I feel that report is not going to be good for him, that Mueller is going to tailor a suit for him that he's not going to be able to get out of. And also, he's still trying to find a way. The reason why he made that threat, he thinks he can scare people. And to thinking that if we try, well, if the Democrats try to impeach him, or people do anything, that his supporters will take to the streets. I have one bad news for Trump. If that was to happen, I feel those people will be put down. Whatever insurrection it is will be swiftly put down. That's number one. Number two, I don't see the military doing anything. Well, I might as well go back to where I was born, because that's what the dictator of the place where I was born, and that's what he did. The military worked for him. So it would be the same thing here. I don't feel that's going to happen. And also maybe the bikers, but somebody made an analogy last night about the bikers. Motorcycles are no longer cheap. From what I understand, I have never been or looked at the price of a motorcycle, because it's not one of my favorite toys, let's put it that way. But from what I understand, those things cost in the upwards of over $25,000, $30,000. I don't know. I'm repeating after. I forget his name right now. I'm sorry. I'm trying to concentrate on what I have to say. In any event, they are no longer cheap, so that anybody can walk in and join whatever motorcycle gang they choose, and they're going to go take to the streets and fight for Trump. I don't feel that's going to happen either. You will have a few crazies that will go out and try to do things, but they will be put down very quickly, and it's not going to take root. So I feel like saying Trump is terrified. He's trying to scare people. He feels like something is coming. And also, the person I feel, I mean, he's worried about all his kids. As I am talking about this, he's wondering what he's going to do if Ivanka was to be indicted. It feels like that's his weakness. If something was to happen to Ivanka, and please, I don't feel Trump is going to do anything else beyond inciting some violence, and that will happen that will last until somebody from the Senate, like McConnell or these people, talk to him and tell him what they have in store for him next. Because I mentioned a while back, and probably the past maybe weeks as well, that Republicans were going to start jumping ship. And I feel the 12 senators who ran away from Trump, who voted against his emergency fiasco, if you will, I feel that's a beginning. Yes, I don't know all of them. I don't sit because I have a lot, I'm doing a lot. So I don't sit and try to figure out which state they are from or any of their situations. But since I did make the prediction that some of them are going to start jumping ship, I feel this is the beginning of it. It feels like they are trying to see, well, this is going to serve as a test as well. When I touch with them and the rest, how far they can push. Because some of them are terrified. And one thing I feel for senators or anybody, there should be time limit, because these people have become professional politicians. And it's not, I never thought I would say something like that, but as I'm speaking about this, it's not in the interest of the country to have these people become professional politicians. I understand experience counts, and it's important But when I touch with them, I'm sure everyone is aware of it, but I am getting the same thing. When these people get to the Senate or to the House, they don't want to leave. And of course, I wouldn't want to either, because from what I understand, they have those beautiful dark SUVs they ride around in. I don't know exactly how it works, and they get a lot of perks. In any event, I feel that's one thing that should be changed. But what I'm trying to stress, the most important point I am trying to make is Trump is wondering what's going to happen to his kids, specifically Ivanka. And what prompts me into thinking that is because, as I just mentioned, he's terrified. And he's complaining about Mueller should not be releasing a report. So these things are indication to me that what I have been saying about Trump being in fear, all those things that he's doing, going out, giving interviews and stuff like that, it's just a front. Behind the scenes, a lot is going on that we are not aware of. I'm sure at some point we will find out. I hope so. I would like to see how accurate I have been when I talk with him and the family. Ivanka is afraid as well, because Schiff, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, I'm not quite sure. I believe he's the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. It feels like she's terrified of him for some reason. So all those things are affecting Trump and how he's feeling. And expect some more craziness on Twitter from him going forward. That's what I feel like when I talk with him. And it feels like to me he will make some more threats as well hoping that he can scare people. I don't feel any of that stuff is going to work. Of course not. Let's hope not. And the other thing I feel as I'm saying this, McConnell is at, at the breaking point with Trump. He is not going to do anything to hurt his caucus. I hope I'm putting this the right way. Or the members of the Republicans in the Senate. But he's becoming more and more concerned. Oh, I know, concerned. And the other thing is, I'm glad because as I'm talking about McConnell, I'm seeing his wife. He's very concerned about his wife as well, because what I feel about the plane that went down, it feels like to me it is a software problem. I would be surprised if it is mechanical. Although those things go under rigorous testing before they release them, but we are all human. And unfortunately, when these things go wrong, we lose lives. But I feel that's what caused the accident. I'm sorry if I don't speak. Sometimes I put my head to the side and I apologize to people when I read for them face to face if I don't look at them. So that's the way I am when I'm reading. In any event, he's becoming concerned about his wife because she's in charge of the transportation something, and her name has been mentioned a few times. And also, there is a lot of questions around the world why we didn't do anything. We waited so long to ground those planes. So she's getting a lot of blame for that. And but we're going to find out what the connection is between Trump and the president of Boeing, because from what I understand, he called Trump and tried to keep those planes in the air. There's going to be a lot more coming out in the coming weeks to a month, what went on behind the scenes, because it feels like to me they should have grounded the plane. I mean, it's expensive, don't get me wrong, and I understand all the ramifications of a business like Boeing. Grounding those planes, it's super expensive, and there is so much involved in doing so and taking and making such a decision. But we can lose a lot more, or Boeing can lose a lot more by not grounding the plane, as opposed if they did. That's the point I'm trying to make. In any event, I feel McConnell's wife is going to get some blowback about that, and I don't think McConnell is going to like it too much. So I know I weaved those two topics together. I went from the terrorist act in New Zealand, and also, yes, I know why I mixed them together. It's because in the span of a week, we had the accident and then the terrorist act. That's why I mixed them. But it felt like to me, for well, I know the other reason why I did it that way. I was being pulled in that direction, is because Trump helped. It feels like to me, intuitively speaking, that the president of Boeing spoke to him, and somehow Cho, McConnell's wife, They made the decision not to ground the plane, and Trump was part of that decision. And it's because of Trump's words, the way he treats Muslims or brown people coming into this country, and that's motivating a lot of sick puppies all over the world and even in this country. Because I was listening to the news today, the number of arrests for anti-Semitic actions or white supremacy and all these people, they are becoming a lot more active than prior years. That's the other reason why it felt natural to me to bring those two together. So let me see if there are some questions, and then I'll go to the next topic. I'll go to say a few words about North Korea. I'm sorry if I didn't, if I wasn't looking at the screen. I was trying to read what I was getting. Michelle Pickens says Trump has blood on his hands. That's for sure. And you know, this week, I'm glad you said that. Exactly. Okay. Because the plane went down, he's part of the decision. And that white supremacist guy, his words. Can somebody please tell me the name of that guy who usually wear 10 shirts that used to be in the White House? He always looked like he had, he had to drink the night before. Hi, Stephen. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sandra is saying Trump is looking in poor health. Yes, he has some issues. I dried up Old Orange. Okay. Somebody's asking about Tucker. Oh, I'm going to touch on that because I have a little section I'm going to do on Fox News. I wanted to see if you... Oh, Bannon. Thank you. Steve Bannon. I couldn't remember the name. Thanks very much. That's why I was, because he was going all over the world promoting white supremacy. So it's coming to bite. From what I understand, New Zealand is a very peaceful place, a beautiful place. I have no idea. The only way I know about New Zealand is because when I was younger, I studied geography. That's how I know. I've never been. So, but yes. Bannon was promoting white supremacy all over the world. He got kicked out of a few countries, though. Okay. Somebody asked me about Tucker Carlson. I have a little bit I'm going to do on Fox News, so bear with me. Oh yeah, Stephen is asking to talk about Trump's health issues. I believe I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. I don't want to keep repeating things because I don't want to bore you guys. He has, I don't like to do this, but I would not be surprised because of all the stress he's under, his poor diet, okay? The ticker doesn't give up. I mean, if he doesn't suffer or have some kind of heart issue, that's what I feel. I know he has great doctors, and they probably did when he went for his checkup. As I'm saying this, and I am looking, he has calcifications. So that's what I am saying when I talk about his health. Okay, Stephen? Okay. Exactly, Linda. Linda says stroke or heart attack. Yes, I agree. You're welcome, Stephen. Yep, well, your intuition is correct, Stephen. Cappy's mom is asking, does Trump drink? I don't think, no, he doesn't drink because he lost a brother to alcoholism. So from what I understand, he doesn't drink, and I don't see him drinking. But the stress he's under, and it's not from doing the job. The stress he's under is from worrying what's going to happen to him when either when mother, oh geez, okay, when mother releases the report. New York State right now, they are investigating every little corner of Trump's life. If we have not heard anything yet. If Mother doesn't get him, New York State will. Mark my word. Susan says he's a snorter. Okay. I'll move on to the next topic. I have to look at. I'm not sure I know what my next topic is going to be. Well, there are two. I believe it was last year. I don't remember the title of the video I mentioned. I mentioned this about North Korea. And I don't know if everyone heard that Kim is threatening to pull out of the talk. I feel, he's playing with fire. Since he met Trump, he gauged Trump. But you know what people, foreign leaders, and even immigrants as well, when I first came to this country, although I was very young, but I was used to only one president. I didn't know anyone else. So the notion of elections and voting, there was voting, but they told you, and I was a kid. I went voting. Can you imagine? 13, and they put some ink on your pinky. Okay, they told you who to vote for. So that notion was strange to me. It took me about a couple of years to understand that it's not the same. And also the culture, okay, from where you are from, you think, although they tell you or you read about it, I did not know when I first came here anything about the system of government, any of that stuff. Because I was about 15, and that was not my interest at all. In any event, the mistake a lot of immigrants can make is not understanding the system of government, the way things work. They think they can do little things, and then they get themselves into trouble. It's because they don't understand how things. If you are from a third world country where they have dictators and people take the law into their own hands and the like, when you come here, you have to readjust your thinking. The point I'm trying to make is people like Kim and Putin and Xi, because they have, people explain to them how things work in this country, but it's difficult for them to fathom. They think Trump has the final say and Trump can do anything. So the way it feels like to me when I intuitively look at Kim, he doesn't understand completely, although people tell him, Trump, is not, does not have all the say. Trump has a constituency that he has to report to. He cannot simply make decisions and give it his blessing and that's it. He doesn't understand that. He thinks Trump can give him whatever he wanted because he feels like Trump is in a weak position. Trump needs a win. And he thinks he can get a lot more than anyone else. Sorry about that. then he can be. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn this off. In any event, he can't understand why Trump cannot come up with a deal with him for him. So it's an issue. So what he's going to try to do, he thinks he can. Well, he never stopped developing his missiles. That's number one. Number two, he thinks that if he starts testing again, he can show to Trump that it's like a threat. I don't feel he means it, but it may turn against him. But I don't see us going to war. I don't see any of that. But he thinks he can, if he does those things, he can get Trump to move off the dime. And I feel it would be a big mistake for him. I don't see how that's going to work. In fact, he may anger other people in the government. Yes, Trump has a lot of input, but Congress can step in, and a lot of things can happen. There are many levers that these people can pull, people in Congress and the like, they can do. And that's why I hear that he's blaming Pompeo and that gentleman with the mustache. I'm sure everyone will know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name right now, but those two are the two people he's blaming. But what I feel, he's playing with fire right now. He's getting desperate. He wants money. And he has been out of his country a couple of times. He's seen Vietnam. Vietnam is doing a lot better than his country. And he has been to the other place where they held the last summit, how advanced they are. And he wants toys, the type of toys that Trump has. And it feels like to me Trump baited him as well. Okay, yeah. Trump went thinking that he could make a deal like they say in the news on the force of his personality and their friendship. So he told, he had conversations with Kim, trying to show to Kim how he can go about developing his country and all the things that he can do if they were to have some kind of a deal. So, and Kim has been to China, Kim has been to Russia. His country is really behind the time. Some of the luxuries that he saw in these countries, he doesn't have them. And, when I talked with him, I mean, I was his age when I was, how old is he, 31, 30? I wanted beautiful things as well. So when I talked with him, that's one thing that's driving him batty. He wants those things. So, but I would not be surprised if he starts testing. He may make a mistake. I don't feel it's because he wants to do anything to anybody, because he knows that he will be crushed. Well, yes, he'll do some damage as well, but it is because he thinks he can get Trump to give him what he wants, because he doesn't think Trump is very bright. He feels like Trump is looking for a win, because that's the feedback he gets from Putin, Xi, and other spies and people that he has in this country and all over the world. That's the reports he's getting. That's why he's playing this game. It is dangerous. I don't see him even trying to attack us, but don't be surprised if they start talking again the way they used to before, threatening to do things that they can't really back up. But I did say this thing was not going to go anywhere. It feels like I'm being proven. It feels like I was right. First of all, they continue to do development work behind the scenes. and now he's getting ready to start testing. He's threatening to break the talks. Don't be surprised, but I don't feel anything is going to go beyond that. He's not that brave. He doesn't want to die yet. He feels he's too young for that. And from what I understand, as I'm talking about that, he doesn't want to kill his wife and his young family. So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. Let me see if people have any questions about that. Oh my God. I have to thank everyone for coming, and those in the audience, thank you for spending the hour with me. I don't know how long. I'm not paying attention to the screen. Every time I finish a topic, I'll just take a look at the chat to see if people have questions. Somebody is asking. No, Katie. No, Katie. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. No, I don't think Pence is. Sorry, because that's the first thing I saw when I looked at the chat. Let's see. Carla says, Linda G, talk to Otto. Oh, you mean Otto won't be? I don't want to do that. I'm glad Linda did it. There's no way. Somebody, okay, I think I mentioned why I said that. Carla mentioned that Linda G spoke to Otto Warmbier, the young gentleman who was tortured and killed in North Korea. Linda is a braver person than I am. No, I don't have any kids. It would have been even worse for me. I don't like to feel helpless. I can't see myself sitting down, meditate, and go step by step on how this gentleman lost his life. And though it's I'm glad Linda did it, so you guys won't have to ask me any questions about him. No way. Okay. Mystery, thank you. How are you? Okay, I'm trying to see if you guys have any. Bolton and Pompeo. Thank you, Price. Bolton, I couldn't remember his name, but I knew people would know the minute I said the gentleman with the mustache. Because let me explain something to the audience and to everyone in the chat. All I know before I come on, I have the topics, and I give my intuitive impressions of what I get when I about them. So because when you are reading and when you are talking, just spitting things out from a piece of paper are two different things. I may be wrong, but I prefer to do it this way because I'm saying exactly as I am seeing and feeling what I am getting. So I hope the audience doesn't mind, and those in the chat doesn't mind. Please, everyone, I always forget, and thank you for those in the chat who always remind me. Please press the thumbs up if you can. I know some of you at home are watching from TV. Somebody told me that, when was that? Someone posted a comment either yesterday or the day before yesterday. They were watching me on TV. I'm like, oh my God. I have no idea how people are watching, if they are watching using their cell phones, tablets, computers, or their TVs. It never dawned on me. I've been doing this for a little over a year, not a little over a year, maybe about 14, 15 months, maybe. I don't know recall exactly. And I never thought of how I am being perceived at you viewers end. I'm sorry because I've never done TV before or anything like this. So it's difficult for me to even think how I am being viewed. And I do appreciate those of you who post comments and let me know how I am coming across in order for me to be able to rectify certain things that I do if I am not coming across correctly. But before that person posted that comment, and someone else posted a comment regarding, like in the middle of the reading or talking, I will say hi to somebody in the chat. I have no idea how that's coming across. To me, it's being friendly, and I thought people would understand, but I didn't realize that people are watching, they're trying to follow me, and I will jump, and because when I read, I do that. I will jump, say hi to somebody, and then I'll go back to reading. I do it in real life as well when I read for in-person clients. I will be talking about subject A, and all of a sudden I'll see a picture, I'll jump to Z, and then I'll come back again. So I am used to flipping and switching, and but I never thought that people were trying to get the message and understand what I am trying to say, and I'll jump. So I'm trying to control that going forward. That's why I let everyone know after each topic. I will take a couple of minutes to watch if there are any questions on the screens, and I will answer it. Okay, I wanted to explain that. Sorry about that. The next, now somebody asked me about, what was his name again? From Fox News. One second. Tucker Carlson. Okay. And this is not the first time people have asked me about Fox News. And I said Fox News is going to have to reformat or do something about their programming. And the other day, I was watching something on MSNBC. I remember I was watching, in fact. In fact, it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday. And he was talking to a lady who was a reporter for Fox. And the lady said she had the Stormy story, but Fox, the people at Fox, killed the story, and I'm not quite sure if she signed the NDA, non-disclosure agreement, when she joined Fox, or after the story. I don't know exactly. I don't know the sequence of events when she signed the NDA, if it was before, when she joined Fox, and or it's after they made her kill the story and they made her sign a contract and preventing her from talking about that story. In any event, Congress is going to subpoena Fox News or that lady. From what I understand, since I'm not a lawyer, that lady is going to have to testify and tell Congress everything that she knows. Well, first of all, about the story, who at Fox made her kill the story, and everything. And I feel she's going to dish. And that's when it came to my mind that the connection was made. Those type of things, that story it feels like to me, it's going to cause a lot of headaches for Fox. And that's going to trigger some people to start making changes, or at least proposals on how to go about changing their programming, because this is going to have repercussions. It's not just going to go away. This woman is not just going to go to Congress and spill the beans. There are going to be more things against Fox. That's why I was getting there are going to be changes at Fox, because they're not going to be able to get away, to run away from this. Emails and all those documents are going to be shared. it's not going to be pleasant. That's how I feel, and I feel that's why I have been getting. Otherwise, I would never tell, because I was asked that a couple of times, and I felt something was going to happen, but I did not know what it was. It feels like to me that's what although well, I never really sat down and do a complete go into meditation and try to read what's happening at Fox. No, I don't. I've never done it, and I don't think I'm going to do it. But I can tell when I'm speaking, I'll see pictures or I'll get thoughts and feelings of things that are to come. That's how I got the Fox thing. But that made sense to me. That's what's going to force some changes at Fox. Okay, I wanted to, and yes, to answer that person's question about what's going to happen to Tucker Carlson and all those and Hannity and all those people. Well, it feels like to me somehow there is a connection between this the story that Fox News ditched. There is a connection there is something about Hannity. There is a Hannity connection there as well. So I would not be surprised, because when I touch with that stuff intuitively, it was not the decision of one person. There were a couple of people involved. I understand Hannity doesn't have any managerial say or doesn't make the last decisions there, or doesn't make those type of decisions at Fox, but he has influence because he's good friends with Trump. So those people are going to have issues as well. Okay. And the other person I wanted to mention, him also, I believe I mentioned him before, if not last week. I'm not sure what I said about him last week because first of all, I don't have the time. Number two, I don't like to watch myself on video. So I don't replay my videos after, let's say, for example, after I stream them or after I edit them, I don't go over them at all. So if I don't recall which video I said what or what I said exactly, that's why. If I have to, I will review the video, but once I post it or once I'm done, I'm done. If I don't recall I said something, forget it. It's gone for good. In any event, this morning, I believe I remember I said Eric Prince, the brother of the Secretary of Education, DeVos, I said he was going to have some legal issues. I think I heard and feel it made sense to me. It clicked when they said it. He was one of those people, at least he attended one meeting between the Trumps and the Russians. So although I did not know why or what was coming, that made sense to me. So Eric Prince is going to have some legal issues with Congress because he lied to Congress. Not only about him attending one of those meetings, but other things as well. Okay. Oh, one more person, Rick Gates. I'm sure everyone knows he was Manafort's assistant. It feels like to me when I talk with him, this gentleman is terrified of going to jail. So, and they postponed his, the word escapes me now. Well, how much time he's going to spend in prison. So I'm sure everyone understands what I mean. His sentence. So, when I intuitively, when I look at Gates, he was relieved because he doesn't want to go. And the thought of going to jail, leaving his wife and his kids, is I mean, a real motivation for him to do everything he can to minimize the amount of time he's going to have to spend behind bars. So when I talked with Gates, he gave everything. And the reason why they postponed, I don't feel he has very much more to offer. And it's not because he's hiding anything. I heard there are more investigations that they are doing. And it feels like of course, they're going to take advantage. It's better if they have him in person as opposed to him being someplace else. And also because it feels like he's been so helpful to them, to Mueller, and any other investigational group or groups. They've made very good use of him. You know, he's even better as providing information than Flynn. And you know something else? This afternoon, a little while ago, right before I came, I started streaming. Even Manafort will be shocked at how much information Gates has provided to Mueller and anyone else who is investigating this whole situation, because it feels like Gates knew of things that Manafort didn't want him to know about. And of course, you're not going to be able to hide anything from him because he's working with you and you're not paying attention, but he's paying attention. He wants to know because the type of work they were doing, you have to be in the know if you have to prevent yourself from getting killed, by taking the wrong step. So this gentleman knew a lot more than Manafort is aware of, and he spilled the beans. I when I talked with him, I don't feel it. He held back on anything, and the motivation is he doesn't want to go to jail, and I don't blame him. Okay. I believe that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. I'm going to take a look at I'm looking at my sheet with the, Trump's veto. They were talking about in the news how Trump enjoyed his veto today. So, thank you, Samaritan. He had the opportunity to use his veto plan, but I like I said before, he's going to win a few battles. He's going to lose the war. All the things that Trump has done, from putting those kids in camps to the security emergency, so-called, those things are going to be hung around Trump's neck like an albatross. Forget it. So, yeah, I hope he enjoyed today. Okay. I believe that's what I wanted to cover today, and I have 8 minutes left, and I will answer some questions that's been posted. Let me see. Patricia is asking, will The View get rid of Meghan Markle? I don't think so. She has a contract. There's another question. Gates still cooperating to reduce his time. Exactly, Price. That's what he's doing. He's doing everything he can, Gates that is, to reduce his sentence. I would do the same thing too. You know what, Sharon? Oh, let me read what Sharon's comment is. Karen's wish is for the good Lord to wake her up one morning and the news would say that Trump, his children have been kicked out of the White House, and his followers will follow after that. Well, I don't know about his followers, Sharon, but uh, I feel that's how it's going to happen. I've mentioned that before. His departure will be sudden. And right now, like I mentioned earlier, there is a fear in him. Well, the fear is the Mueller report and New York State is turning every rock, when it comes as far as his life is concerned. So he's terrified. Reality is setting in. That's what's happening with him right now. Before, everybody's circling the wagon. And there's one thing, you know what? If Trump could, and I've said that on Twitter before I started on YouTube, that Trump is so desperate, he will do anything, including changing our democracy. I think I made a video tip about that, to something resembling what Putin has in Russia. Okay? So, right now, he's even more desperate. And that's one of the reasons why he is making threats, because he has although it's still on the back of his mind trying to find a way to do it, he can't do it because the Constitution is right there staring him in the face. No one will listen to him because the oath was not to him or to a person. It was to the Constitution. But he's trying to figure out ways what he can do. But since he's getting desperate, he's encircled, every facet of his life is under investigation. Okay? So he's resorting to making threats now and wishing that, or saying Mueller should not produce a report. It's desperation and fear. That's why he's behaving that way. Thank you, David. Hashtag Team Milu. Thank you very much. Sandra is asking about R. Kelly and Trump's relationship. I don't feel there is a relationship there. Is there? I don't think so. I'm not getting that. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Margaret. What was your question? Margaret is saying that she's trying to catch my eyes with a question. Let me scroll back up to see what your question is, Margaret. Because, like I said, I'm learning from those who are watching. So, as I read or whatever point I'm trying to make, I am being mindful of those in the audience, not only people in the chat. Before I was only focusing on you. So I'm sorry. Okay, Margaret, I haven't heard from my best friend. Oh, Margaret, today is, please come Monday. Okay, on Mondays I do, and please remind me. Okay, Monday at 8:30, I do I answer personal questions or any questions that people in the chat or anyone in the chat has. But tonight, I am sorry, I'm not. I hope you understand. I'm trying to be disciplined about this because this is getting serious. Okay, so Monday night, I will look. In fact, I would promise I will look for you at 8:30. Once I start, I'm going to make a note of it. I will look for you and I will answer your question. Okay, Margaret? Thanks for understanding. Okay. I am scrolling to see if there are more questions. Oh, so that's a good question. Comment Cat asks, will Trump resign to save Ivanka? Yes, that will be once they start indicting his kids, that's when he's going to lose it. I feel like saying yes, once they start indicting his kids and they start dragging them in front of Congress in order for them to testify in public, that's when he's going to realize for sure this is no joke. I feel Ivanka and the kids, yes, they are playing big, like just like their dad, they have a big mouth. Until Don Jr. is indicted and the others are indicted and being dragged in front of Congress. Yeah, that's when reality is going to set in. Okay. Marty is asking, why was Barr supporting Trump's national emergency bill? I don't know. That's not Barr's job. Oh, I don't know how. Well, I don't feel that's Barr's job to support. He has to give, or the people who work for him have to give a legal reason. And that was done before Barr came. So, Carol, the way I can answer this, Barr is not going to do anything to get himself into trouble. Let's put it that way. So, yes, Carol Patterson says Barr is going to flip on Trump. It's not only Barr. A lot of people are going to flip on Trump. Let's put it that way. I had Miss Wendy says she heard Miss Lindsey Graham block the Mueller report from the Senate voting. Yes, they could not bring it to the floor of the Senate to be voted on because Lindsey blocked it. You know, I'm not surprised. And guess what? And this whole scheme of things, it's not going to make much of a difference. Trump is going to lose. Good night, Edward. Okay, everyone, thank you for coming. And those in the audience, I really appreciate you spending the hour with me and with the rest of the chat. Please, everyone, if you would like a reading from me, you can go to my website or you can send me an email. My website is psychicmilu.com, or for an email, you can email me at psychicmilu@aol.com. Thank you, everyone, for your time. If you have any comments, please let me know. If there are topics you would like me to do readings about, please post them. I am open for suggestions and how I can make this better because I like I said, it's difficult for me to put myself in your shoes on the other side. So I'm learning. I just started learning how to do that yesterday. So I'm trying. I'm working on making things better. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you. You'll probably see me for 15 minutes over the weekend. I'm not quite sure which day, but I will send a notice. Have a good night and a great weekend. Bye.